All right. Thank you, sir. Devendra, Deva Indra, the Indra of the Devas, is Krishna. Indra means king. It's not his name, it's position. They all have different names. But the three puggles that ruin Nabadwip, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are Brahma means Haridas Thakur, Vishnu in this context, Nimai Pandit Mahaprabhu, and Shiva, Sadashiva Advaita, Acharya Prabhu. So I said, Nityananda, he is his own category of puggle. The Avadut. And the Avadut is described as one who can deal with filthy things but not be touched by it. Like Guru Maharaj would say it in various ways, but sometimes he'd say, if you see Nityananda coming out of a whorehouse with a bottle of wine in one hand and his arm around a prostitute, what do? Shastanga Dandavat. That's what you do. That's kind of like, underscoring the, not, what do you call it? Sanitizing. And sometimes he would say that the prostitute was a Muslim to like ratchet it up a little bit. But Gurudev, he always can express the truth very succinctly. It's one of his specialties, actually. Short form. So he said, everyone knows that Guru Maharaj is Rupa Goswami's man. So why is he always saying, Dial Nitai, Nitai Chaitanya Dial? One thing I like that he said, that I haven't found anywhere except from his holy lotus lips was, and I like the sequencing and everything about it was, as we know in the Panchatattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita-Gadadhar-Srivas Gaura-bhakta-vrinda. But sometimes Guru Maharaj would chant, Nitai-Gaura-Gadadhar-Advaita-Srivas, like that. Nitai-Gaura-Gadadhar-Advaita-Srivas. And I like it because Nityananda Prabhu comes first, Nitai, and then it's Gaura-Gadadhar, Nitai-Gaura-Gadadhar-Advaita-Srivas. Something really wonderful about that. And I was mentioning this in Moscow many years ago, and the little boy, Gadadhar Pran, he wrote a paper, like sometimes children give us drawings, and he wrote in it in Russian, Nitai-Gaura-Gadadhar-Advaita-Srivas. I have it on my altar to this day. I really liked it. And he did that. His mother used to wonder about him when he was younger, and he said to her once, he said, "Don't worry, Mom, I'm crazy." That's why I do all these things. Don't worry, Mom, I'm crazy. He is very sweet. As when Sachi Mata thought that Niyamai Pandit had lost his mind when he came back from Gaya, and one day he was laughing madly, like for 9 hours. If someone laughed for 9 minutes, we would be impressed. They'd be on TV in America. They'd have their own show. 9 hours of non-stop mad laughter. So she's thinking, he's lost his mind. Calls for an Ayurvedic doctor. He's putting the sometimes they call it Vishnu oil. What's the other name for this oil you put on your head to cool down? Huh? No, that's another one. Prabhupada used sandalwood. I forget what it is, but I'll think of it later. So he's doing that. It's not effective. Then they think then make a bathtub, fill a bathtub with it, put him in there, and maybe, because this is an extreme case, and maybe that'll do the trick. And then he's just splashing in that tub like K2 in the flower pot. So Mother Sati's like, oh, Vishwarup took sannyas, now Niyamai's lost his mind. Srivas Thakur shows up, and oh, Srivas, what to do? Niyamai, he's puggle, laughing madly for 9 hours non-stop. And Srivas Thakur said, what he's got, I want a drop of that. And then he stopped laughing and said, Srivas, if you thought I was crazy, then I would just leave the world. But that you understand, then I think we have something to do together. Actually, Nitai-Gaura-Gadadhar-Advaita-Srivas. Sarupam Bibrano Jagatatulyam Advaita Dvaita Prapana Srivaso Janita Paramananda Gaurima Harir Dinodari Gajapati Kripot Sekatarala Sat Chaitanya Kame Punara Pidashorya Shatipadam. Rupa Goswami said, what I saw, he's the eyewitness. But Rupa eyes, not ordinary eyewitness. Said, will I ever behold this divine vision, these divine pastimes again? So, I wanted to reference my notes because Srila Guru Maharaj said so many things, and I try to represent them from time to time. But they're so extensive. Like when I took notes, I would say, waking up 4 o'clock in the morning till 8, a good 4 hours. I took notes on Guru Maharaj's talks for around 15 years. And thought one day, I didn't actually want to print it out, but I thought Command P, just to see how many pages that is. And I thought, who knows, maybe I have 50 pages. Or 150, my gosh, maybe 250. And the spinning ball was there, and I was like, what's going on here? And it just took such a long time, and then I finally looked over, and it was 2,500 pages. But not of transcription, of things that are noteworthy, of notes. And in the beginning was Guru Maharaj's words, like in the Bible, in the beginning. And like Bhakti Siddhanta Vani, Vani and Vapu, Vani. And when I went to Srila Guru Maharaj, somehow I understood that I should record him. From the first visit, it was just I thought it should be done. But after I made maybe 18, 20 recordings, I realized he must be recorded for posterity. This when the devotees would approach Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the aftermath of the disappearance of Mahaprabhu and Sri Damodar, they would hear, because he inherited the wealth of what was within Srupam Bibrano Jagatatulam, the incomparable observations and insight of Sri Damodar, and also Raghunath Das Goswami. The devotees prompted, pleaded with him to present Chaitanya Charitamritam. So when I went to take permanent shelter at the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj in August of 1981, he wanted to know what my intention was, like what I was going to do practically. And so when it was conveyed to him that, like, record him, and then certain things would come from that, like transcription, extraction, transcription, structuring, publishing. But he said, with regard to it, like recording him and hearing from him, on the subject of hearing, he said, as your life's engagement, and he said, I tried to collect the maximum from my Guru Maharaj. He said, and I did. But my tendency for distribution was not so great. He said, so you should be with me and like extract from me and then go and distribute that. So come and gather and then distribute, like that. And of course I agreed. But when I finally agreed to, or actually suggested that I return to America and start sharing what I was hearing, not with him, but with other devotees, I said, there's one condition. It was kind of a bluff, but it was a real bluff. I said, you have to record him every day and at every possible time and send me the tapes. And they agreed. And Sripad Sagar Maharaj was outstanding in that regard because he's expert at everything, including electronics. So when the equipment would break, he had a little kit and he'd like fix it. Fix microphones, fix the record, So, he really kept it rolling, literally, kept the tape rolling. And Guru Maharaj said later that the wealth of Srila Saraswati Thakur that was stored in him, he was surprised. He said, now in my final days it's coming out. Because some things, like his Gayatri explanation, Srila Govinda Maharaj did not favor distributing that publicly. He favored, it's in Bengali, it's in Sanskrit and Bengali, it's really Sanskrit, but Bengali script, not like, and who can penetrate there? So he did not favor distributing it or publishing it. But I asked Guru Maharaj for the explanation, and which came, Srila Govinda Maharaj, one day we went up there, and Srila Govinda Maharaj knew how to like gently, sweetly get Guru Maharaj, like a calf and a cow, get him in where the nectarine substance would come out. But Guru Maharaj said, if I don't do this, it won't be done. It'll never, no one will know. And it's not a peripheral thing or anecdotal. When someone would want to know, what has he got that no one else has got, he would give us Gayatri explanation, where he's extracting Radha-dasyam from the Brahma-gayatri. And there is no one else who has done that. Period. Full stop. So you think about it. In the history of Vedic culture, go through all the acharjas, the whole disciplic succession, the spiritual. He extracted Radha-dasyam from the Brahma-gayatri. No one else. In the history, not just now, not Brahma, not Madhva, not Ramanuja, they did not. He did. So as he said about Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in his Bhakti Vinod Virohadasam, it's not actually translated fully. The full expression is not in the translation. What he's saying is, what Bhakti Vinod Thakur has exceeded Ramanuja and Madhva. He's not saying it's like equal to them. He's saying he's gone beyond them, beyond Madhva, beyond Ramanuja. And so has Guru Maharaj. He's exceeded Madhvacharya. He has exceeded Ramanuja, ontologically speaking. We're not diminishing their contributions. But that mat that you see, the Chaitanya Saraswati mat, its foundation is the grace or the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. And one of the notes I have, Guru Maharaj says, to make our foundation invulnerable, we take refuge in the feet of Nityananda Prabhu always. And here's the point. The more the foundation is strengthened, the more construction it will be able to rise up. The foundation of devotion comes from Nityananda Prabhu. Nitai-Karuna Have Braja Radha Krishna Pave. But what he's saying, the more the foundation is strengthened, the more the construction it'll be able to sustain. That makes total sense. Sometimes Guru Maharaj say, I take my stand on, common sense. And I remember when Srila Acharya Maharaj was building a gate at Govindakunda, it seemed like forever they were just digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and I was wondering, when are they going to put the gate up? I said, why are they doing that? They just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And he said, so that it'll have a strong foundation, right? We could put it up, but environmental circumstances like winds or this or that could knock it over. But we're going deep in this direction so that the foundation will be, what is the word he used here? Invulnerable. That's the point. Everyone, every neophyte in Krishna consciousness, they just want to get everything rapidly. Guru Maharaj said, like eating a sweet ball. Pop it in your mouth like a gulab jamun, rasgola, something like that. And he would say, Krishna is not a sweet ball, although he is Rasaraj. Right. Foundation. So the mat, and why do I say that? Because we know that Srila Guru Maharaj contemplated retiring in 3 places. First was Uddhav-khyari, the site of the Brahma-gayatri. His saying that service according to the intensity of its necessity draws remuneration on the basis of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur's parikrama of the holy places of India, and Bhaktivinoda saying, we all know Vrindavan's for the hollow, shallow thinkers. A man of real bhajan will prefer Kurukshetra, meaning where Krishna and the Braja Gopis meet. And just a reminder, this is highly contextual, because separation reaches its zenith point there, and so she has the greatest necessity for assistance. So according to the intensity of necessity, service draws remuneration. Bhaktivinoda Thakur identified that as the point to target in bhajan. Right? And bhajan is not like, thinking about stuff. It's direct service. It's not sitting around thinking about stuff, doing air bhajan with some spiritual wallpaper and the good incense. Make sure you have the good incense so that the mood's just right. That's taking Krishna as a sweet ball. Bhajan is direct service. So, anyway, that's a point, zenith point. But another point is the Brahma-gayatri. Why do I say this with certainty? Is that it's why Mahaprabhu descended, first of all, his internal reason, beyond distributing Nam-Sankirtan. Bahiranga Sangha Kori, Nama Sankirtan, Antaranga Sangha Kori, Rasa Ashwadan. And what sort of rasa tasting? As Gurudev would say, what is his tasting matter? Therein lies the secret. Pida bir navakala kuta katuta garvasya Rupa Goswami saying this, the heart in separation by the force of affection. It's squeezing, the heart is being squeezed by affection and separation and producing a superior, the most superior type of prem. It only comes out at that time, not in union. And all the genuine devotees know this. Only the posers do not. Right? The fraud, those who were, to quote a phrase, a fraud when they were conceived in the womb of their mothers. Right? Not like they came out and went bad. They were a fraud when they were conceived in the womb of their mothers. They don't get it. Right? But here, so this is the tasting matter of Mahaprabhu. As Krishna, he knows everything about union. Right? Lakshmi sahasrasata sambrahma sevyamanam. Again, Gurudev very simply said, Krishna, Vishnu, Krishna, difference? Vaikuntha, one Lakshmi, one Narayan. Are you still with me? One Lakshmi, one Narayan. Krishna, thousands, billions of Lakshmis, one Krishna. That's how he's at. You want to understand Krishna's enjoying capacity. There's no Madhura Rasa in Vaikuntha. So, Brahma Gita. Why I say that? Because if you read Nityananda, Chaitanya-Charitamritam, will say that in the last 12 years of his manifest pastimes, right, which is a yuga, 12 years is also a yuga, poetically speaking. Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravashaitam sunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahiname. Govinda viraha. Separation, that's what he is plunging the depths of. Radha Bhava Duty Subalita, the heart of Srimati Radharani. Right? In the company of Swarup and Ramananda, Lalita and Vishaka, who know how to assist Radharani in that condition. Right? So that, and it says, like the Uddhava-darshan. So it'll say in the book something like, and he's behind closed doors with Swarup Damodar, and what are they doing? You know, they're, whatever they're doing, it's like when they saw Uddhava. That's not what it means. And I don't ever fault Srila Prabhupada for this stuff, but some of the history of the publishing of those the books. Right? Uddhava-darshan, what was Uddhava doing there? You know, he's delivering a message from Krishna to the Braja Gopis. Right? Where Krishna is saying they should learn yoga and how to meditate, and God is everywhere. And it just upset the gopis. This type of thing. But he wanted Uddhava to observe them. While he's delivering the message, Radharani is spun off in her own divine madness, and a big Brahma bumblebee that are yellow and black comes. And he has pollen on his mustache. And we're not qualified to speak about that, but it was Guru Maharaj's specialty. And Babaji Maharaj and Ban Maharaj like to hear him explain these 10 types of prajalpa, mad talk. Pralap means mad talk. And prajalpa here means mad talks that cannot be easily, they appear to be nonsense, but they're not. It takes an expert to extract from there. One of which we can say is the Chaitanya-lila karna piyusha viprut sakrid dana viduta dvanda dharma vinashta saparigriha kutumbam dina mutsrija dina bahuva iha bihanga one of the bhikkhu charjam charanti, where she's saying Radharani is saying a drop of hearing the nectar of Krishna, yad Chaitanya-lila karna piyush means nectar, viprut sakrid dadvana viduta danda dharma vinashta, will ruin you, destroy you. That's what she's saying. It'll ruin your life. Right? That we should put on a banner. Krishna consciousness, we will ruin your life. And what she's saying, your mundane life will become ruined. You won't actually ever be able to take it seriously again, even if you try. And that's supported by the Narada slokas in the Bhagavatam. Krishna consciousness will keep eating at you, the remembrance of that. Even if you only have a brush with it, it's so potent. And she's saying, a drop, that's Yaranu Karna, Piyusha Viprut Sakrid, Danda Viduta Danda Dharma Vinashta. Ruin you. And other things, but it's all inverted. So the experts required to extract, and Guru Maharaj. But that is the Brahma Gita, her song to the bumblebee, whom 1 minute she thinks like a messenger from Krishna, then she thinks maybe it's actually Krishna in the form of a bumblebee. Some say that Krishna came in the form of a bumblebee to observe her. And when she thinks it's Krishna, and she sees the yellow and black, and then the pollen, and anyway, it's not for me to say. But that, we're told, that's Mahaprabhu behind closed doors. That's what he's doing 24 hours a day. That section. Divine madness to the extreme. Ratha-yatra is actually public, although what he's experiencing internally is unknown to most. But it's actually, it's incredible that it's even public. This is not public. This is behind closed doors with these two personalities. So Brahma Gita, and the place is called Uddhav-khyari. And there's a well there, and Nabadwip Maharaj and I stumbled upon the place, and these old cowherd men with like those handlebar mustaches came out and said, they were very sad. They said, there were we saw in our childhood many grand festivals here, and now, do something. So, that's his first place. That reveals something to you about Guru Maharaj. That's his first choice, where to spend his final days. It means cultivating that. Guru Maharaj is qualified for Nirjan Bhajan. But, he said, it's not approved by Saraswati Thakur, so I took the middle path. I'll make a mat, and I won't aggressively canvass money, men, etc., but modestly I'll proceed. And that's the Chaitanya Saraswati mat. A modest preaching effort. Not trying to compete with like ISKCON. Nobody can compete with ISKCON. Just accept it. You're beat. You're done. You cannot compete with them, ever. Don't even try. It's ridiculous to even think. Once Sandeep and I were going by Krishna Balaram Mandir, and he goes like there, because it like grows so much, and he pointed to something, and I go, I saw this huge building, and I said, oh, is that the new temple? Because it was like 10 times bigger than the original temple. I said, is that the new temple? He said, no, that's the kitchen. I'm serious. So it's not about that. We are lovers of ISKCON. But like Kaviraj Goswami heard all these things from Raghunath Das and Swarup Damodar, it came to him, some particular wealth. Comparisons are odious, but we cannot deny our good fortune and coming in connection with the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj and this inconceivable treasure trove of Krishna consciousness, which should be shared with the posterity. So that's the first place he thought of. And this will reveal how Guru Maharaj, his internal process of moving, making selection, consideration, all these things. So he thought, he didn't feel right about it. He said, we're here, we've heard Vrindavan is for the highest section of liberated souls. So taking himself as non-liberated, we don't see him that way, but he thinks of himself that way. He thought it's inappropriate and wouldn't meet with the approval of his Guru Maharaj. As Kaviraj Goswami says, the concluding words of the Madhya-lila, Krishna-lila amrita sar tar shat. Gurudev loved this so much. Guru Maharaj would say, Govinda Maharaj really loves this part. That's the kind of sweet relationship they have. Guru Maharaj knows, like, oh, Govinda Maharaj really likes the Invulnerable. It's like one of his favorites. Krishna-lila amrita sar, tar, shata shata dar, dasa dike, jaha baha hoite, say Chaitanya-lila hoy, sarovara akshoy, manasa, hangsa, chara, hat, jaha, ha 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 ha. Tahate, there you go. Saying Krishna-lila, what is it? Amrita sar. It's not just Amrita. It's interesting. Sar means cream. Amrita means nectar. So what are they saying? It's nectar cream, or the cream of... So it's saying, of nectar, it would, like, if the cream rises to the top, so of all... And we're talking about divine nectarine substances, not just generic off-the-shelf nectar, right? So he's saying, so the cream rises, that's what Krishna is, like the crème de la crème of nectarine substances. Right? So you think, well, what can top that? Right? Krishna-lila tar, shata, shata. So then one might take it again. That's, you need an acharya to extract, acharyavan purusho veda. Prabhupada said it 1,000 times. One who's got an acharya knows what is what. That means sambandha gyan, without which you don't know what is what. You don't know jack. You can look that up later. Right? An acharya. And what achinoti yashastratam, they extract the inner meaning of the scripture. That's what they do. Not just, they set an example for everyone else. Right? So does the new bhakta leader. He may not be the acharya though. The acharya can extract the inner meaning of the scripture. Right? That not everyone can do. So, we're told, Krishna-lila amrita sar. Then we say, and what is Chaitanya-lila? Oh, it's also nectar, Prabhu. That's not what it's saying. This is nectar, that's nectar. What it's saying is, as Guru said, Krishna-lila is reserved for the highest section of liberated souls. It's the crème de la crème of nectarine substance, but you'll never have access to it in 1,000,000 lifetimes. Get real. It's not going to happen. No, but I'm chanting good rounds. I got the good incense and the big tulsis. You know. And really, and the tilak that's got the perfume in it. Right? It wasn't good enough. Like, tilak, it has its own beautiful smell, but some idiot has to put perfume in it. Why? It's an offense. Right? Kaivalya means don't mess with it. That's what it means. So, the crème de la crème of nectarine substances, you'll never, and you say, well, wait, no, no, read the Bhagavad Gita. Right? Manushanam sahasreshu kastyad yatadi siddhi yatatam api siddhanam kastyan mam veti whatever, kritama priyatama. Yeah. Saying, out of many thousands among men, one may be interested in like generic spiritual stuff. And this is the world we live in. Let's be real. That's the way it is. Thousands, how about millions? But it says, out of many, manushanam sahasreshu, says thousands. Let's just take it what it says. Hardly one you'll find who's interested. Then it's saying, and of those, it'll be more rare to find someone who's siddha, like achieve perfection. And then what's the Bible saying? Bhagavatam saying, Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana. Here, now they've ratcheted it up. Of 10 million siddhas, right? You may find one devotee of Narayan among 10 million siddhas. Right? As connotation increases, denotation decreases. And when they said that, Guru Maharaj said, out of 10 million muktas, you may find one who's a Krishna Bhakta. He said, even that is too many. One is too many in Guru Maharaj's book. Unlikely. Too many. That's too much. So, reserved for the highest section of liberated souls. It's not a game. Go there and play this game. You're in Vrindavan, and adopt all the, the jargon and it's just bullshit is all it is. That's the only word I can think of that aptly describes it, what's going on there. But that's another subject. And not the good kind. When I say bullshit, I don't mean like the good kind that you use, like in a yagya or something. Because that would be the good kind. Like when the deities were being installed in St. Petersburg, and Gurudev, he's so sweet and considerate actually, and he said, because Srila Bhakti Prapanna Tirtha Maharaj, he's from a Brahmin family. His name before he joined was Parthasarathi Goswami. Right? That's his karmi name. Parthasarathi Goswami. Right? So, and then he became Prapanna Krishna. And then Gurudev gave Bhakti Prapanna Tirtha, and Tirtha is the number one sannyas name. You give that name to the senior, the sannyasi in the senior-most position. Anyway, so Gurudev saying, because he's a Brahmin boy by birth, he thought, let him do the installation of the deities. And he said, I'm thinking, Krishna, please, this Brahmin boy who's very sincere, like that, How sincere? Yeah. I'm like, meet Tirtha Maharaj and see, like he's getting ready and he's got all, And then he like opens his bag. He brought, because he didn't know what's available in Russia, right? So he brought his own cow urine and cow dung in like a Ziploc bag. I can imagine the customs guys, What's in there? Cow dung and cow. Okay, buddy, just move along. And they know he's telling the truth. So not like that. Not the good kind. The kind that purifies everything. So anyway, out of, muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana kotishvapi mahamaya koti. All these words mean 10 million, millions, million. So Guru Maharaj is saying, it's reserved for the highest section of liberated souls. This is inappropriate. Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur would not approve. Oh, that verse in the Madhya-lila is saying, but what is Chaitanya-lila? Just equal? No, that's not what it is. It's saying, but Chaitanya-lila is the magnanimous distribution of that unachievable, inaccessible substance to everyone, everywhere. That's Das DK, means the 10 directions, north, south, east, west, etc., up, down. That's what you get in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And Nityananda Prabhu, Preme Mata Nityananda Kripa Avatar, Uttam Adam Kichu Nakore Kore Navitar. Right? Kichu Kore Navitar. He's so drunk, intoxicated on Krishna Prem, Like he's like staggering. And everything. He doesn't see, it's not that he just accepts high and low. He doesn't see high or low. He just wants everyone to be intoxicated with Krishna Prem. It's so wonderful, so sweet. To experience what he's experiencing. And he knows the path to that is the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So the Nitai-Gaura-Nam Habe Brajje Radha Krishna. You don't get Radha and Krishna without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Hey no Nitai Bine Bai Radha Krishna Paite Nai. You won't get. And not just, a tip of the hat to Nitai kind of thing. But you can see Guru Maharaj, serious devotees of Nityananda Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada also. Descended in a line that's very favored by Nityananda Prabhu. So, Chaitanya-lila is the magnanimous distribution of Krishna-lila, that inaccessible, unachievable divine substance. Who will understand this? Sumedasa, those of refined theistic intellect. Same thing with Prabodhananda. Yata yata Gaura padara vinde vindeta bhaktim krita punyarasi tata tatot sarpati hridya kasmat radha padamboja sudamburasi. Does Prabodhananda know what he's talking about? Astasaki Tunga Vidya? Does she know anything about Krishna-lila? Anything about Radha and Krishna? And Manjaris and this, and does she know anything? Or just some fraudulent Baba in Vrindavan? Right? Some counterfeit. What did I say once about one guy? Niggardly notions of Gnosticism. Three N's. In terms of euphemism, euphonically. Niggardly notions of Gnosticism. Right? And a bunch of Guru Maharaj said, what did he say? Swimming in the waters of the mud of misconception, thinking they were bathing in the divine waters of Radha Kunda. It's not a game, child's play. What is inaccessible to Narada and Uddhava, you've got, because you've been chanting good rounds. You're ready for it. You've been, mumbling some semblance of, probably, an operatic, at best we say, it's nam-operatic semblance of Krishna Nam for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you're ready for that. Really. Self-condemned, self-deceived, right? Narad and Uddhava aspire for it, but you've got it. Or so-and-so Maharaj, or he's giving you entrance. You fools. That's insanity. Right? 3 verses, Gurudev, should be put on the wall in our Govardhan Mat. One was, Suladam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto from Brahma Samhita, the verse from end of the Upadeshamritam about the Prestali bee, and one other, maybe Asamaho Charanrenu. There's so many. He said Guru Maharaj Tosti is like a boy who had marbles, Chintamani gems, and tossed a few of them to them for their necessity. Oh, Brahma Samhita, Shati Virala Katipaye, the end of that saying. It's very rarely achieved. That's the conclusion of Brahma Samhita. Upadeshamritam, these waters not attainable by Uddhava and Narada, and even Parama Preshta Sakis rarely get this opportunity. But you have it, and you're Manjari Bhav. That's why I called it, I said, are you sure it's not Manjari Bab? You know, a guy named Manjari Bab? Just check for sure. You know, it's so silly. I mean, if it wasn't just so silly, I mean, sad and pathetic, it would just be silly. But to take these divine things and reduce them to something so low and disgusting is not silly. It's suicidal. Right? It's to mock the genuine devotees, the real devotees, who are prepared to sacrifice themselves for life. Yadvanchana Sri Lalanacharattapo. Lakshmi Devi did austerities in the Tapoban for lifetimes, plural, and could not get entrance into the Rasa-lila. And what does Srila Damodar say in response to Srivas Thakur at the Hera Panchami? She didn't possess the adhikar. So we're saying Lakshmi Devi doesn't have the adhikar to enter there, but you do. Really? Self-deceivers. What did Guru Maharaj say? Then let them dance with their foolish tendency. He said there are those who are above correction and below correction. Just let it go. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, actually, you say, why is there that? He said, to keep the line pure, actually. They're, in a sense, they're being quarantined by following some fraud, some bogus, counterfeit representation of a genuine devotee, whom Gurudev said will not be a Vaishnava in 1,000 lifetimes. Right? Who he said, he's an infectious disease. Because it's one thing to distribute Sahajaism. Usually in the old ISKCON days, they knew they were leaving the line of Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur and going. But when someone started presenting it like Gaudiya Math approved, like peeled the label off and put this new label on, Gaudiya Math approved, it's even more heinous and criminal, right, and punishable. So what did Gurudev find? And all this misconception about Milan and Viraha. So what did Gurudev say finally? And offending Srila Guru Maharaj. He said, you can say so many things, but to offend someone who's so dear to Srimati Radharani, he said, the inhabitants of hell will be fearful to look upon his face. And they will have to create a new hell to accommodate him. So it's not child's play or just silly things. It has consequences. The inhabitants of hell will be fearful to look upon his face, and they will have to create a new hell to accommodate him. So that's not Sumedasa. Right? Refined theistic intellect. And you see, and what made me go off in this little tangential rave, the de-emphasis of Mahaprabhu, that gives it away every time. Just the tip of the hat to Nityananda and Mahaprabhu, and then, Radha and Krishna. Please. So, Astasaki Tunga Vidya is saying, no, at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. That, and Gaura-lila is the entrance to Krishna-lila. Right? Nabadwip is the entrance to Vrindavan. As Guru Maharaj said, every atom of Nabadwip is capable of giving Vrindavan in full. The plain, but so he said at another time, it's like, welcome. It said like, welcome, no admission. You're being welcomed to the plane of no admission. That's Gaura-lila. Radha and Krishna as Gaura-Gadadhar, that's their Acharya-lila. The Nam Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu is the Rasa-lila in distribution mode. And what does Prabodhananda say? So at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, yata yata gaura padara vindeta bhaktim krita punya rasi tatot sarpati hridya kasmat radha padamboja sudamburasi. And what will be the outcome? Of dedicating everything, all your energy to the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the Radha Rasa Shuddhanidhi will begin to flow in your heart. Radha-dasyam. You spring out of the soil of Vrindavan. Right, so Mahaprabhu, he tells Nityananda Prabhu when he's getting ready to go behind closed doors with Srup Damodar and Ramananda and plunge the depths of Radha Bhav, repeatedly relishing the Brahma-gita, that go to Bengal, Jari Dako Tarikaho Krishna Upadesh, and preach about Krishna. So what does Nityananda do? Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, worship Gauranga, talk about Gauranga, take the name of Gauranga, and you'll get everything. He knows. Of course he knows. What do you think, Nityananda doesn't know what you know? That's what he says. Why is he saying worship Gauranga? Doesn't he know about Radha and Krishna? Doesn't he know? Narottam says, Nitai-Gaura-Gadadhar-Advaita-Srivas. Without the mercy of Nityananda, you won't get any Radha and Krishna, other than some wallpaper, doing air bhajan with the good incense and the big tulsis, right? Got the good ones, from the guy down by the Kund. I mean, it's so ridiculous when Americans own something. You're guaranteed it'll just turn into crap and some kind of meaningless jargon, right? For the cool people. It's totally rasic, man. I mean, it's just it's so, as I said, if it wasn't pathetic, it would just be silly. I was thinking that wasn't so rasic, but the other thing was totally, oh yeah, that was totally rasic. Oh my God. Fools, a fool's paradise, led by someone who's distributing niggardly notions of Gnosticism. And that's being kind, So anyway, what was I saying before that? Oh, the three places. Yeah. Yes. So then Guru Maharaj, he decided, like Prabodhananda says, like Nityananda says, like Narottam says, like everyone who is actually in the line says, that you have to have a strong basis or foundation on lotus feet, the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Kaviraj Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. It's not peripheral, it's foundational. That's my point. I told Gurudev once, I said, for those who can't understand, who are ontologically challenged, I've pointed out, anyone who uses these two, Manjari Bhav, they're bogus. They're bogus. It comes from some Radhakund Baba in the 1950s. So anybody who's infected with this disease uses that expression, Manjari Bhav, even those who don't know they were infected. But that's how you know. But Gurudev took it a step further, right? I said, so I'm trying to tell him, if you hear this, just run for your spiritual life. And he said, Maharaj, like, what does people that? He said, Radhe. The Radhe people. Anyone who casually says the name of Radhe. Right? What Das Goswami was crawling on his hands and knees and Radhakund with tears streaming down his eyes, you're mocking that? Using her name to indicate anything, because you're one of the cool people. You know, the cool handshake, you know. Right? You got telegrams, man. It's the same stuff we saw before. It has all it's just a cult that's not cool. But anyway, why did I say that? Because Saraswati Thakur shed 100 gallons of blood, there he is, to show what it's not. And you go, well, why did he do that? You know, kabe na, bole na. An actual Rupa Nuga, Vaishnav, Guru, will not give rasa shiksha to someone who doesn't have the adhikar to receive it. Full stop. That's what he says in the Prakrita Rasa Shatadushini. No, but no. A genuine Guru, Rasic Vaishnav, in the line of Rupa Goswami, will not give rasa shiksha to someone who does not have the adhikar to receive it. So if someone's doing that, it means they're bogus, to use an old ISKCON word. Right? They're bogus. It's a fraud. They were a fraud when they were conceived in the womb of their mother. I like that one. That's what a Gaudiya Math said when they were asking about one particular person on the stand in a courtroom. They go, and what do you say about so-and-so? He goes, he was a fraud when he was conceived in the womb of his mother. That's a good one. That's how bogus he is. He was never good and went bad. He was a fraud when he was conceived in the womb of his mother. Right. So, Srila Guru Maharaj, who's real, right? Humble, modest, he said, then he thought, you see there's a thread, because it's like Brahma Gita, Uddhav-khyari, Vrindavan. So then he's making his way, so he goes, Puri, Gangbhir, Mahaprabhu, as I told. What's he doing the last 12 years? So now it's Gaura-lila, but the same thing, but not Vrindavan. So, I mean, it's interesting, because it's the same thing, but in a different location. And by that, I don't mean the GPS of Jagannath Puri, but the ontological GPS of Jagannath Puri. But I never heard him tell me in detail why that got canceled. But he got the inspiration for Nabadwip. He said, it's been told Nabadwip is for the non-liberated. They will get everything there. So then you think, well, load up the truck and move to Nabadwip. But that's not what he did. And this reveals more about Guru Maharaj's slow, methodical, modest, natural approach. So what is he thinking? Well, Nityananda Prabhu is the Dhameshwar of Nabadwip. The governor, the visa granting officer. Well, Nityananda appeared in Ekachakra, Birachandrapur. That's his place. Nitai-Bari, the house of Nitai, is there. So Guru Maharaj takes the train to Ekachakra, Birachandrapur. And he said, so he arrives at the train, and he has all of his, you can't say earthly possessions, because Guru Maharaj, they're all like divine, beyond alokik. But what he does from the train station, he puts all those things, his books, different things, on a bullock cart. And he walks next to the bullock cart, means a cart drawn by a bull, and he walks from the train station to Nitai-Bari. And when he arrives there, he does Shastanga Dandavats to the deity of Nitai, Nityananda. And Gurudev had a picture of that deity in his room. He's like this, and the offering mudra on his veranda in his final days. And he told me once, as he was looking at it, he would look every day, and he said, Maharaj, he said, you will not find a more beautiful Nityananda than this. And I looked, and maybe he perceived some level of skepticism on my part. And he said, no, I'm telling you, you will not find a more beautiful Nityananda than this. Then I realized this deity is very special. Just like at Mahaprabhu Bari, Vishnu Priya Bari, and Navadip, this Nitai Bari deity is very special. So, Guru Maharaj Shastanga Dandavat before the deity of Nityananda, and he's thinking, you are the Dhameshwar of Navadip, you are Patita Pavan, you give shelter to the most fallen. Please give me shelter at your holy lotus feet, and allow me to a small place in Nabadwip. And then the inspiration comes to him. But you do not give shelter to Patita. And what is meant by that is that although many were approaching him for initiation, he was declining. Srila Prabhupada's sister, Pishima, Bhavatarini, Guru Maharaj sent her to Goswami Maharaj. Others as well. Why Goswami Maharaj? Because Goswami Maharaj was a Ritvik of Saraswati Thakur in his lifetime. So Guru Maharaj thought, that's safe. He was approved by Saraswati Thakur, so you go to him. He's deferring. And that inspiration comes to him. But you do not give shelter to Patita. And then this is how Guru Maharaj's internal thought process is, where he thought. He's reading Jiva Goswami, and there he says that if you possess, you're very wealthy. And some people nearby, they're like poor and starving. If you don't give some of your wealth to them, you're culpable. It's unacceptable. You have to. That's why we see wealthy people, they give in charity, etc. So it's just saying, that's just unforgivable. Right? You give a little something, take care of them. That. Then another thing was that some like Puranic legend that there was this Brahmin who was a great pundit, like, Sarvagya, knew everything, but he didn't distribute any of his knowledge. He was just happy knowing it himself, and that was it. He didn't distribute to anyone. So it's said that in his next life, he took birth as a mango tree. and produced these beautiful, ripe, juicy mangoes. Right? But not even a bird would land on the tree and take one. And they would just drop and rot on the ground. You understand? These things came to him. Who said, I tried to extract the maximum from my Guru Maharaj, and I did. Right? But my tendency for distribution was not so great. I used to think that, like, you've given so much to us, like, I don't understand this thing about your tendency for distribution is not so great, but then we understood Srila Govinda Maharaj, he would get Guru Maharaj to come out. He knew how to sweetly put Guru Maharaj in a mood where he'd be willing to talk to us. He'd always go, Maharaj, they've come from so far, just 5 minutes. And then Guru Maharaj finally, like, all right, 5 minutes. And then it would be 90 minutes. He just needed to get him going. But Gurudev knew how to do that. That's why those who, it's not possible to say, you like Srila Sridhar Maharaj, appreciate him, but not Govinda Maharaj. That's like the old, article Kriyonai. I like Mahaprabhu, but not Nityananda. Kaviraj Goswami canceled that when he chastised Gurunadava Misra, saying, you can't say you like Mahaprabhu and not Nityananda. Same thing for Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. If you understand Guru Maharaj, you may have some appreciation superficially for his philosophy, but if you want to understand his heart, you have to have some appreciation for Srila Govinda Maharaj. And understand that you wouldn't have all this wealth from Srila Guru Maharaj if Srila Govinda Maharaj didn't arrange it all behind the scenes like Yoga Maya. So then Guru Maharaj thinks, then you think, okay, now start initiating, do something in Nabadwip. But again, no. Guru Maharaj is thinking like, Nabadwip, big place, many famous, but they go, yeah, go build something big in the, like near the neem tree. Right? That'll be good for business. So many pilgrims on the road. What does Guru Maharaj think? The remote part of Nabadwip, the Aparada Banjaner pot, where we're told, where all the offenders were forgiven their offenses. When Mahaprabhu came back, those who had offended him and driven him out of Nabadwip, when he came back there, he forgave everyone's offenses. So Guru Maharaj is thinking like that. Where the aparadis are forgiven their offenses, that place I'll establish a mat. And when some news would go back and forth during a particular period, and once they were saying that some people were spinning the situation as, not to worry, the only people from ISKCON who are taking shelter of Srila Sridhar Maharaj are aparadis. So it's kind of like I said before, a quarantine, a service like Bhakti Vinod. All the aparadis are going there, so we're good, So that was told to Srila Guru Maharaj. And as usual, he just smiled and he said, yes. You can tell him, all the aparadis, they're taking shelter here. And the aparad Banjaner pot. And soon all their offenses will be forgiven and Mahaprabhu will give them everything. That was his response to that. But all by the grace of Heno Nitai Bine Bai, Nitai Karuna Have, without the grace, the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, nothing is possible. And with his grace, all things are possible. Even impossible things become possible. So when Srila Gurudev said, everyone knows Guru Maharaj is Rupa Goswami's man. Why is he always saying, Dial Nitai, Dial Nitai, Dial Nitai? Guru Maharaj himself explained. He said, because when you're talking about Krishna consciousness, inevitably, some high things will be discussed. There's nothing higher than it. So if you're actually following the thread, you're going to end up in a high place sooner or later. Better later than sooner. Right? Modest, natural growth. And he said, but sometimes what comes out, it's very high. It may be beyond really our pay grade, adhikar. He said, so something high came up. Maybe I didn't represent that properly. Bhakya aparad. He said, so, and from Guru Maharaj, we know high things are going to come out. He'd rather distribute high things to a small group than something generic to a larger audience. That's the way he is. We have both. Both things are good. So anyway, he's saying, so maybe I committed some offense in my representation or exceeded my capacity. So I chant the name of Nityananda to resituate myself. So I sit there, dial Nitai, Nitai-Gaura-Gadadhar-Advaita-Srivas. Like that. So many times. And Nitai-Gaura-Haribol, Gaura, Nitai. So beautiful to hear Nitai from his lotus mouth. Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, all lovers of Nityananda Prabhu in a genuine way, not perfunctory, but substantially. And to have a strong foundation in Krishna consciousness upon which the superstructure of Krishna conception can rest upon, we need the grace, the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.